Hey there, love. Let's just talk about this calmly. Yeah, I know for a lot of us, that's the moment we want to throw a couch out the window or at least launch a pillow across the room. Because calm discussion assumes that your nervous system got the memo on how to do calm. And let's be real, mine missed that training session entirely. If you're neurodivergent, if your trauma responses still throw up flares at the first hint of conflict, or if your emotional regulation sometimes looks like a Category 5 hurricane, just stay calm is the most unhelpful advice imaginable. And yet, that's what we're fed over and over in every relationship self-help book, couples therapy manual, and late-night argument that devolves into, why are you making such a big deal out of this? Let's call bullshit on all of it. Here's what happens when you're wired a little differently or a lot differently than the norm. You have ADHD, and every critique, even the gentle kind, hits like a pack of wolves. Rejection sensitivity is not a quirky trait. It's an alarm bell your whole body can hear. You're autistic, and conflict doesn't just hurt your feelings. It sends your sensory system into overload. Every sound, every facial expression, every word layered with subtext you don't have a decoder ring for. You're trauma-informed, which means your nervous system doesn't politely wait for the end of the argument before pulling the fire alarm. The moment tension rises, your fight or flight system is like, hey, we've got this, let's run or attack or just turn the lights out and go dark for a while. If you're nodding along or at least rolling your eyes in recognition, welcome. You're not the problem. Your nervous system isn't broken. It just refuses to perform calm on cue for the comfort of others. And so, the promise that if you just breathe and talk softly and say, I feel statements, you'll get your needs met and all will be well. Yeah, that's a myth built for neurotypical nervous systems in laboratory conditions. For the rest of us, we need conflict skills that meet us where we actually are. So let's get into it. How do you fight fair when your brain refuses to do calm discussion? Let's start here. There's this moment, maybe you know it, when you feel your system tip from activated but functional to, nope, offline now. You're too hot, too loud, too close to the edge. Every word feels like an attack or a trap. That's the moment we're supposed to take a pause, right? But if you've been on the receiving end of the silent treatment, or if you grew up with someone who used stonewalling as a weapon, you probably have a little panic around the idea of taking space. Here's the truth. Pausing is not abandonment and it's not avoidance, it's nervous system triage. The trick is learning to name it out loud, not just disappear into the next room to hyperventilate in private. Try something like, my brain is about to shut down and I don't want to say things I can't take back. I need 10 minutes, I will come back. You don't need fancy language. You just need a script that keeps the thread connected. I'm too dysregulated to be fair right now, but I want to come back and finish this. The difference between stonewalling and self-regulating, intention and communication. One is about punishment, the other is about repair. For some of us, conflict means we lose our words completely. You're mid-argument and suddenly your mind goes blank, your mouth won't cooperate, your body just wants to run, or maybe you dissociate entirely. For others, it's the opposite. Words tumble out rapid fire, louder, faster, meaner than you intended, as if your brain's been hijacked by a reality show producer chasing ratings. Both are survival, both are brilliant adaptations, but neither one leads to actual connection or resolution. So what can you do? Script it. Seriously, pre-script your offline moments. Write them down, memorize them, tattoo them on your palm if you have to. Try, my brain just froze and I can't find my words, but I want to keep working through this. Can you give me a minute? Or, I'm getting overwhelmed and I might say things I don't mean. Can we come back to this when I can think straight? Sometimes the bravest thing you can say in conflict is, I don't know what to say right now, but I want to try. Let's address the therapy elephant in the room. Every communication guide on earth wants you to use I feel statements. But what if your brain does not organize information into feelings, at least not on demand? What if, under stress, you can only identify bad or worse? Or maybe you can name the feeling, but it doesn't change the fact that your body is a live wire and your partner is still triggering you? Here's your permission slip. You don't have to perform emotional granularity to be valid in conflict. Sometimes you just get to say, "Something in me feels really unsafe right now." Or even, "I know this isn't about you, but my body's on high alert and I can't process what you're saying." If I feel statements help, use them. If not, try, "I notice my heart is racing and my thoughts are all tangled. This is landing really intensely for me and I'm not sure why yet. I want to stay present, but my system is doing something I can't control." Let it be messy. Let it be incomplete. The goal is connection, not perfection. Here's the part nobody wants to talk about. Sometimes you will absolutely say or do something you regret when you're dysregulated. That's not a sign you're failing at relationships. It's a sign you're human and your nervous system does not read Brené Brown on the weekends. So what now? Repair. Real repair starts with owning your activation, not shaming yourself or expecting your partner to pretend it never happened. Try this. "I was really dysregulated and I said things I don't mean. I'm sorry for how that landed. I want to understand how it impacted you and find a way to do better next time." You don't need a performance of shame, just ownership and willingness to do the work. And if you're on the receiving end, repair isn't a free pass for repeated harm, but it is an opportunity to see if your partner is willing to learn with you, not just expect you to calm down faster next time. Because I know some of you want practical scripts to grab when your brain throws up the blue screen of death in the middle of conflict, here's a handful you can actually use. "I want to keep working through this, but my system's shutting down. Can we take a break and come back in 20 minutes? I'm noticing I can't listen right now, but I want to. I need to step away and reset. I'm struggling to stay present. I care about you and this conversation, but I need a few minutes to regulate. This feels too intense for me right now. Can we switch to text or write down what we're trying to say and check in after we've both had space?" Steal these. Remix them. Write your own. The point is to communicate where you are, not where you think you should be. Here's the secret. Fighting fair as a neurodivergent or trauma-impacted human isn't about becoming a master communicator. It's about communicating as you actually are. Messy, passionate, unfinished, and brilliant in your own way. Your nervous system deserves relationships that work with your wiring, not against it. Conflict doesn't have to mean rupture. Sometimes it's just two nervous systems trying to love each other through the static. So the next time someone tells you to just talk about it calmly, remember, you're allowed to fight for your needs, your voice, and your beautiful, chaotic self. Ready to keep dismantling shame and building relationships that don't demand you mask or minimize yourself? Listen to more of our podcasts by looking for Untamed Ember wherever you get your podcasts for more Real Talk resources. And don't forget, you're never too much for the right relationships. See you next time.